Welcome to the Beer Den Podcast. Tonight we join a Russian gang. Tonight on the Beer Den Podcast, we vaccinate our children.
This week on the Beer Den Podcast, we discover the Earth is flat.
Tonight on the Beer Den Podcast, we make a blanket fort. This week on the Beer Den Podcast, we watch The Notebook and don't cry.
This week on the Beer Den Podcast, we destroy the blanket fort.
This week on the Beer Den Podcast, we fake the moon landing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Beer Den Podcast. My name is Ethan Hoopy.
And I'm Michael LaRoe.
So we are actually going to start off with the beer of the month today. We have two winners this month. The first one is Innis & Gunn Brewing Company's barrel-aged bourbon barrel porter, coming in with a score of 80.5. And the second winner this month is Great Lakes Brewing Company's Conway's Irish Ale, also coming in at a score of 80.5.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by Robert Kraft Massage Parlors. If you're in a pinch and need a tug, he's the guy.
It's a guy?
Oh, man. Did you see, he got busted.
Who?
Robert Kraft, he's the owner of the Patriots.
This is a person?
Yeah, no, that's an actual person. He's the owner of the Patriots, and he got busted in Florida,
given a tug
in a prostitution ring.
Uh-oh.
And rumor has it he's not even like the most high profile like person that was busted, but he's like, as far as what I've seen on it, he's like the only like big name that's been released. Yeah, like. There's been a lot of good memes on it. I've seen a couple with like Tom Brady and long hair saying like that was the prostitute they found him with. Yeah. It's crazy. I think in situations of people with a lot of money, like billions of dollars, I feel like there's a lot more like weird stuff that goes on that people don't like realize until like people at the lower end of that, police or whatever, like actually end up busting on, kind of like on accident. I feel like there's like these secret societies.
Do you think that if he were to lose an erection during sex, he would call it Deflategate?
I think he's obligated to. Oh, man. That was actually one of the memes I saw was what does a prostitute and Tom Brady both have in common? They both get paid to deflate
balls.
They both get paid to deflate Robert Kraft's balls. Oh man. He's worth like it's either he's worth or his salary is like $6.6 billion. Like, that's ridiculous.
It's probably his salary.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine having that much money? Just like what you could do.
Go to a brothel.
Apparently.
That's what I'd fucking do.
Be part of a prostitution ring.
Hey, why not?
That's what I mean, though. I feel like with that much money, you could literally do anything that you wanted. Like, there's probably like hobo fight clubs and like
you're buying people with that kind of money. Like, yeah, you have to be. There's no way he doesn't have like a waiter or like, you know, he has wait staff, quote unquote. It's like
Esteban, I need a tuggin'. It's kind of fucked up though, but. I mean, I would hope that a lot of, like, people maybe that got rich, not maybe quick, but, like, I don't want to devalue, like, how he got rich. So I don't want to say, like, that he didn't work hard or anything. But, I don't know. My hope is that there are people that have all this money, that it wasn't just, like, thrown upon them.
Yeah.
I hope that there's a lot of the people that are rich that have, like, I guess, good moral compasses that
you just got to think that it has to be harder to maintain that like good moral compass when you have millions of dollars to be able to do whatever you want. Because once you've done all the that normal people would want to do, like, what else do you do? I mean, there's only so many trips to the Caribbean that you can like take before, you know, you're wanting to go see some shady sides of the Caribbean, you know, or like, no, you know, going to Taiwan or some and like,
I feel like that's like I think about that actually kind of a lot, of the concept of like you and I, of like where we stand financially. We can't even begin to comprehend like what the day-to-day and like Jeff Bezos' life is. Like, where you're literally the richest man on the planet.
Do you think that he does not think about money at all? Or do you think money is all he thinks about? I feel like that especially when you are somebody who like acquires that much money is all you think about. Because I also, not only because like you have so much of it and like, I don't know, you want to make more, but like you're afraid of losing it.
Well, yeah, and I feel like they kind of make it into some kind of competition too.
Well, yeah, I think there is that as well, where it's like,
so,
you know, I want to. I don't know if Jeff Bezos is like, you know, a sociopath, but like I know that that's kind of a common problem amongst like CEOs, because they're totally fine with stepping on others in order to further their success. So it benefits them, you know, and it allows them to get to those higher positions. And so I don't,
at least with him and Amazon, I was always I was impressed with Amazon because their business model was more, we don't care if we necessarily make money now, but we want to just go and do things that we think are going to be cool. And so like they came out with like the Kindle Fire and the Amazon. Tonight on the TheBeerDenPodcast, we get uncontrollable hiccups. The Amazon Echo, like they just came out and they like started doing stuff, and they didn't like worry about turning a profit right away, but in the end it's ended up working for them.
Yeah.
And so now they have like this empire based on like data centers, and
they're kind of like Google in that way. That it's like they acquired so much money that they almost didn't know what to do with it, and so they just started taking on weird projects that can, you know, potentially further technology.
Yeah, and like some of them work and pay off, and others don't, and then they just move on to something else. And like I think that's cool. So I think like stuff like that, it works. And so I think the only part of it that is all about the money is once you get labeled as, okay, you're the richest man on the planet, you kind of want to maintain that.
Yeah,
and so then it becomes more of a grind of, all right, I need to keep doing whatever it was that I was doing or get better at whatever it is, so I maintain this persona of the richest person. I think they make it too much of a competition.
I think there definitely is a competition aspect, but I think a lot of it is driven out of fear of like losing everything that they've worked so hard for. And like they're just terrified of like, what if I had to like do something like what the normies do? What if I had to actually have a 9-to-5 job and shit? You know,
what if I
think
had
it scares
to wipe
them.
my own ass?
Yeah. You know,
so that's what I think it would be crazy though, to like, maybe not necessarily like Jeff Bezos, because I feel like he's probably a hard as hell guy to get a hold of, but like to just spend a day with Bill Gates and like don't do anything different. Like I just want to follow you around for the day.
I'm your
see
shadow.
What you do. Exactly. I think that'd be cool to do with like certain people.
Yeah.
Like Obama. Like, okay, Obama, like what are you doing today? I feel like he's probably like really laid back. Probably just.
I feel like he probably has a pretty normal life now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think with most of them, they probably have fairly, like, Bill Gates, like, his average day is probably what your average retiree would, like, what their life or what their day-to-day would be like. But it's just with like way more money. You know, he's not going out to, you know, the local donut shop in the morning to go get a donut and coffee. He's going to like some super nice restaurant and having like some French gourmet breakfast
made for him.
Yeah, like he's doing the same stuff, but on like that rich level, you know, rich guy level.
That'd be pretty cool.
I just feel like that's probably what it's like. It's just like you're doing all the same. It's just the best of the best version of it. But
you think we're ever gonna have hover cars?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think that we'll ever come. I don't think we'll ever find like technology that will like allow us to just hover without. I mean, I don't think. I definitely don't think that we're like in that direction at all. I think the closest thing that we'll get anytime soon is like quadcopter cars. Like they're basically like a drone, but you can sit in it. But then even with that, how do you trust like normal people to like fly around?
I've actually seen a video of somebody who had like his own like drone
vehicle,
like motorcycle kind of thing.
Yeah. Like there's different ones that kind of exist already, but I just can't see, you know, Kevin down the block driving one of those things to work, you know, drunk at 9 a.m. and he's like flying into like like you gotta think like crashes then are like those are deadly, every single one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're not gonna survive an air collision, you know.
I think because we have like there's levitation like technology now,
but I don't think strong enough.
Well,
to
with like magnets and stuff.
Well, I guess if we started to magnetize all of our roads.
Well, and that's what I was thinking. Like, I think the closest we're gonna get to hover cars would require like complete infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like overhaul,
and then what's America, the benefit really?
I don't think America, like, we don't really get behind upgrading our infrastructure. Like, our infrastructure is like the same that's been around since like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
So I don't like, short of like you said, redoing roads to like incorporate some like magnetic
new technologies.
That does that. I mean, they've experimented with other technologies in roads, like with as like cars travel on it, it generates electricity.
Yeah,
which, like,
I've seen different things like that.
Insanely awesome, but I mean, it's so expensive to do, and then to get everybody to do that is just kind of, I don't think it's realistic. That just, it doesn't work that way in our system.
There would have to be an insane benefit to having to making whatever change. Mm-hmm. Like there would have to be, the benefit would have to way outdo the cost. And I just don't, even with like making electricity through people driving, I don't think that you're making enough electricity to justify how much it would be to install all of that. Mm-hmm. And so that's why they don't really do it.
I wish people weren't so scared of like nuclear technology. That's
I mean, like it's scary.
It seems scary, but it's actually a really safe process, and it really gives us a lot more like energy from it.
I mean, I think that the best way for us to make energy is probably still renewable, like light and air. But I don't understand why people don't.
Well, with with wind, they don't like to look at the giant windmills. Like, personally, I think they're kind of cool, but I will admit, when you have a field of like 200 of them, it's
killing birds left and right.
Well, that's the thing. They don't actually kill birds. There was actually like a thing done with that where this like animal rights group went and said that they were killing birds.
Oh, really?
And what they did is they actually went out to these wind turbines and they put dead birds out there. So it looked like.
So were they killing birds?
They were killing birds.
What the?
They were. It was probably PETA.
Savages.
Because PETA
does weird like that. Like they totally contradict themselves to try to make a point. Like,
PETA's crazy.
Yeah. Well, any group that like feels so strongly about one thing is a little crazy.
Yeah.
I feel the same way though with like what is it? The RNA? NRA, sorry. Feel the same way about like with the NRA, that they have to be a little crazy to like support anything that much and like blindly kind of support it.
So that's where I have a problem with things is like blind support.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a logical support.
Because like you can support the same stuff that like PETA supports and the same stuff that like the NRA supports, but you can obviously see that there's like points where it's like, okay, like you're just holding on to that belief, like just because if you were to accept that, you know, maybe there is a problem, especially like with PETA and like all the shit that they do, you know, that they go out and try to fake things and like, you know, there's been all these issues with them. And
which to me, like if you're going out and faking stuff, like should raise a red flag in your own belief of maybe we're not right.
Yeah.
If we have to make the other side look wrong through faking evidence.
Well, the thing is, you may still be right, but maybe you're not as right as you thought you were. You know, you in total, maybe it is still a benefit to like not eat meat, but just not maybe the one fact that you're trying to support actually isn't on your side. And you kind of just need to like accept it and go, yeah, but look at all this other stuff, you know?
Adapt, overcome, survive.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. I need another beer. How about you?
Sure.
All right.
What about something we can all get behind? Fearing their dogs will develop autism, some owners are declining vaccinations. Anti-vaxxers, but dog edition.
We could do that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to turn into an anti-vaxxer conversation, but really, I don't want any anti-vaxxers following this. So,
what does a autistic dog look like?
A chihuahua.
There you go. I think it's all right if your dog is stupid. Like, you're not having it do your taxes. Like,
wait, you don't have your dog do your taxes?
No, surprisingly.
Yeah, well, you're missing out on a couple deductions.
No, well.
I don't know. This whole anti-vax movement,
it's pretty rough.
God. It's a sad tale. Vaccinate.
I was just gonna say, like, I just look at it as like survival of the fittest. Like,
I mean, that's kind of where I've gotten at it. Is like, okay, you don't want to vaccinate your kids or your pets. Like,
the tough thing is the people who do vaccinate their kids, I'm pretty sure still have to be worrisome.
Oh yeah, no, they're at risk too.
Yeah, so it's like even though you're vaccinating your kid and you're doing like what you should be, like the other kids are still dangerous.
Yeah, because now they can carry the disease, whereas before the disease wouldn't be on anybody.
Yeah.
And then it brings it in, and you can still contract something even though you're vaccinated.
Yeah,
which
it's still possible.
Right there, I probably just like supported anti-vax. Well, you said so yourself. They're not effective. Listen, it's a lot more effective than if you weren't vaccinated, and
more complicated than that.
Yeah, I don't get it. And like they'll cite studies that were done 10, 15 years ago, and I mean, we learn things. Like, that's how education works.
A lot of the time they'll cite YouTube videos or Facebook posts. That's a huge problem. I hate it when anybody says, I saw something on Facebook. And it's like, man, did you Google it afterwards? Because it's probably not true. Like, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. You got to be skeptical about all of it. It's just insane how many people, both YouTube videos and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram posts, they just blindly accept it.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
I was watching something on YouTube the other day, and it was about like how a keto diet is like super healthy and like your cholesterol levels will probably go up, but that's a good thing. And I mean, there's this guy, and he's fit, and he's using a bunch of big words. And
for sure. Was it Joe Rogan?
No. But he's talking, and like, while what he said kind of made sense, at the same time, it's like, we don't know if he's a doctor. We don't know if he's just getting paid to follow a script. Yeah. Like, we have no background context of it. So how can we take whatever he's saying as legitimate or not?
I mean, he could just be repeating something that he heard from someone else. Like, that's the thing. He may not have done any research himself. He just has heard it multiple times, or maybe just once, from somebody else, and now he is adding it into whatever video. Yeah. You know, more than likely he's done some research, but there may be facts in there like that he didn't even think would be controversial, but now, you know, because he didn't fact check those, now he's spreading misinformation.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just,
and unfortunately in our society, it's whatever has the best production value tends to be what people believe. Whatever looks the best. And
whatever's easiest, because like,
that too, and that must be what's true then.
Yeah, because if somebody can present something in like a simple way, and it's like easy to absorb, basically through like video or something, then people will see that, and they won't try to like go outside of it to like research it more. You know, if I watch a video about something and it tells me all this information, and then you present to me with an article that I would have to read, like, I'm sure that video did its research. Like, it's easier. It's easier to just not do anything than it is to do something.
Yeah.
But
we should form a coalition of knowledge, and they just take problems and they just real logical go into it. They do research. They build facts.
Like scientists?
Yes. Like scientists.
We should start a journal.
It could be a scientific journal.
I like that name. Like where your head's at.
Man. And these people would be educated in their field.
Right?
Special
go to colleges.
Yeah. And they would know what they're talking about. And they wouldn't like succumb to corporations and profits, and they would just science.
We should also create some sort of a methodology of discovering these things that involves science.
Like experimentation in theory testing and hypothesis testing.
Sure. We could call it the scientific method. I don't know.
I like that. That's also catchy.
I'm
going to get a hold of NASA. That was something that happened recently.
NASA?
Well, that Mars rover.
Oh, yeah. It died.
What? It did. Well, opportunity or curiosity? I think it was opportunity.
Sure. It was one of them. I can't remember.
But that thing survived like
14 years or something.
14 years after when it was predicted to fail.
Yeah, it was supposed to only be up there for 90 days or something. It was only supposed to be active for 90 days, and it went 14 years.
That is insane.
And then there was a big...
way wrong.
There was my facts or
no that like they're like, yeah, like, this thing's probably gonna work for 90 days.
That's completely wrong.
This thing's gonna last 90 days, but actually it lasted 14 years, so
it's not
our money's worth.
But yeah, then there was a big a big dust storm, and it, like, covered. What I heard was that it covered up the solar panels or something, and so then it wasn't able to effectively recharge its battery. But yeah, I can't remember. It was like just yesterday I heard like the last message it sent back was like, man, I can't. Oh yeah, it was like batteries are low and it's getting dark. Batteries are low and it's getting dark. And like that was like the final message that it sent back.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, dude. R.I.P.
R.I.P. opportunity. Pour one out for our homies. It's crazy that we have robots though on other planets, and that we can actually communicate with them. I think that's what really blows my mind, is that we can communicate with them. Like, they're so far away, yet we can still contact them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a signal, but
just a signal.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all it is. I'm pretty sure it's just like I don't know if it's radio.
Well, that's the thing.
That seems too simple, but
well, like, yeah, though, but that's what blows my mind.
Yeah, like, is that it's able to like
it's
we
so
can
far away.
it.
Like, isn't it like, how long does it take to get to Mars? I thought it was like 20 years or something.
I have no idea. I can't remember. It's less than that, I'm pretty sure. Because I thought that there was something that, like, I vaguely remember one of them, they like announced that it was going to be sent, and then like, it would be like, I don't even want to guess because like I know it's going to be terribly wrong.
I'm going to look this one up. For science.
For science.
Holy shit. It only takes about 300 days.
Oh, really?
According to YouTube.
Is that a Facebook post?
I don't know. Apparently only 300 days, though, to get to Mars. So that's a lot, like, sooner than I thought. That's pretty cool. You can get to Mars in less than a year.
That's weird.
That is weird. It makes me feel small.
I mean, but like, you gotta think that they're traveling like insanely fast.
Are they though?
They are.
They are. Like 80 miles an hour?
About that.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's insane. How many more years until we have a human on Mars?
10 or less.
10? Wow, that's ambitious. I don't know. I think we're gonna go to the moon for the first time before that.
They're sending. Didn't they just send something to the moon?
I don't know.
A robot? I thought like China, Japan, or
I think I read something about that.
Somebody was sending something to the moon
about that. Where I saw an article where it's like some other country was upset because America pretty much like laid claim to the moon, I think is where it was.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I mean, we were there first. It's ours.
Yeah, get off our
Yeah. I think we need to go to the moon. I don't know if there's anything worthwhile up there, but like
I feel like
it's a lot closer. We should like focus there.
I don't, but like, because I know I've had this, I've like said this before that like there's a lot of like conspiracy theories out there that we didn't go to the moon, but then it's like, what if we did go to the moon and we just found the same shit that's on Earth? Because like the moon was formed because a huge rock slammed into the Earth and it broke off a chunk, which formed the moon.
You have no proof.
Yeah, this is true. But
actually, I've seen a theory where it was not necessarily an asteroid or something that hit us, but like another like planet hit us, and the moon is just like the remnants of that. Like the Earth and the moon are
like
both like remnants of like two potentially different things. The theory I just came up with, I think this might happen in the future. If we actually develop the process of terraforming to where we can actually like establish like some sort of a atmosphere on the moon, I think it's pretty believable where the moon becomes the place for billionaires, and then there's Earth.
And there's
like,
sex rings.
Yeah, there's just like a whole like sex ring, Catholic Church pedophilia thing going on the moon with all these billionaires, and then there's Earth.
We would still have flat earthers that don't believe in space.
Oh yeah, definitely. There would be flat earthers in the Moon Society.
Flat mooners.
Flat mooners. And they would still be like, well, the Earth's flat, so the moon must be flat. Even though you could see the Earth and its curve, they'd still say it's flat.
Yeah.
Fucking flat earthers, dude.
They're a conundrum, let me tell you.
It blows my mind.
My mind is blown.
But God, I don't want to give a justification, because I do think it's like way out there. It's like totally outlandish. But
like the thing is that like everything that I've seen with it is that it really doesn't make any sense. Like there are holes in it everywhere. It's just if all you did was just use your eyeballs to be able to determine whether or not like the Earth was flat or round, yeah, it's difficult to like explain or to justify it just by like standing there and using your sight.
Well, and
but it creates so many other holes.
I think that's where the problem arises, because if you base it on strictly like, I've not experienced it, this is what I see.
Yeah.
Then there's, I guess, validity in the Earth is flat. But if you logically, I mean, there's plenty of other things that you experience that you can't see. I mean, the wind blows and it doesn't mean that it's not there.
Yeah.
And so like, I can't definitively say that the Earth is round, because I've never experienced the Earth actually being round. I've never seen it from space or anything. And like, sure, you can go way down a rabbit hole of conspiracies of, well, it's all media portraying this narrative to make you think that the Earth is round. But it's like, I don't know. It's just, the world's not that, I guess, sophisticated to collaborate on a lie of that magnitude.
Yeah, no, there's no possible way. Like,
maybe we're super naive though. I mean, we don't know, but I'm gonna stand on the side of the Earth is round.
Should we get our hats?
Ooh, yeah. Wait, I think I left my tinfoil hat at home.
You gotta be prepared, bro.
I know, especially when we're doing the podcast.
That's when all the comes out.
Vaccinate your damn kids. I want to go back to that, because
on your round Earth.
Yeah, on your round Earth.
We're really hitting this home because we're disturbed by it.
Yeah, well, the vaccine. See, it all comes full
just
globe,
dumb
full
people, man.
Circle. Is if we don't vaccinate these diseases that are extremely dangerous, it potentially affects the entire herd.
Yeah.
And so it's better to just get rid of the disease by having everybody vaccinated than to allow somebody to come in with it and then infect everybody else. It's like, the thing that annoys me the most, and I think this is kind of the go-to argument, is that vaccines cause autism.
Yeah.
And what I hate about that argument is if you reword it, and it's essentially the same thing when you reword it, you're saying you'd rather have potentially your child die than have them have autism. And I think that's extremely sad. I think it's terrible though, where you just,
people dumb.
People are dumb. Vaccinate your damn kids. Just do it. I mean, what's sad is I know a couple people that I think are actually pretty cool people, and they're decent people that are anti-vax. And it kind of blows my mind. It would be interesting to talk to one and like see their sources and have a conversation, because I think this is something that's actually dangerous, where, I mean, the science says it's good, like, and it's neat.
Science also says global warming is a thing.
And people still dispute that.
The thing is it's tough to like argue against dumb people because, well, it's probably actually unfair to just call them dumb because, like, in reality, they're using whatever they have available to them, but they're being lazy and they're not exploring all of the stuff that's available to them.
Well, and I think that's a problem, though. What we have is it kind of goes like flat earthers are kind of in the same category of if they researched it, they would potentially see like, oh, like those are out of date studies or those were fake studies or whatever it is. But they'd much rather be like, well, this is what I believe, and so that's the way it is. Yeah. And like they just stop at that, and they're just like
they like to use like logic. So like the thing is like logic. How do I want to put this? There's a paradox called like the doorway paradox, like the infinite doorway paradox or something. Essentially, what it is that would you say it's true that for me, so if I'm standing in front of a doorway, it is true that I would have to travel half the distance to the doorway in order to pass through the doorway? Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. From that distance, would you say that I would have to travel half the distance from there to go through the doorway?
Yeah.
From there, would you say that I would have to travel half the distance to get to the doorway?
Yeah, so you never get to the doorway.
You would never get through the doorway. But it's a paradox that in reality, obviously, you go through doorways all the fucking time. So it doesn't really, in our physical world, it does not work. But logically, and kind of, well, really in like math, because you can get infinitely small, it does work.
Do we ever go through doorways?
Probably not. Did we just like stumble on another conspiracy?
Oh my God, we don't even go through doorways. That's stupid. Did you hear about the Empire actor that like he ended up staging his whole mugging or whatever?
Vaguely?
I'm not even gonna look up his name because I think he's a piece of shit right now.
But, all I remember is that there was somebody who was like attacked or something, and then like
he filed a police report saying that he was attacked. While he was attacked, the attackers called him a bunch of homophobic and racial slurs.
Wasn't he white?
No, he's black.
Oh, the guy. Okay, maybe I'm thinking about somebody else though. But, I don't know, because I saw a picture. It was like of the headline, but then like there was a white dude. So.
Well, it probably was his attackers.
Maybe
because what they did is they found like the attackers, and the attackers were like, "Hey, no, this was all staged."
Oh,
and like
they were actors or something
like that. I guess there was actually video of like they rehearsed like the mugging or whatever, and I mean he went on and the Empire actor went on and was like, no, like this is bullshit that this is even like that they're questioning it and like this happened.
Which Empire actor? The main one?
No, I don't think it's the main one. I think it's one of like the secondary characters.
Okay, I was gonna say the main guy. He also has his own math.
What? I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
This actor, there's rumors that he was like on the verge of getting like axed from the show, like written out, or there was like a contract extension and he wanted more money, but
so he was thinking
maybe do this stunt and then whatever. Well, joke's on him. They found out and now he's arrested, I believe. If he's not arrested, it's like getting in process, but it's like, I don't know, that's so stupid. Like, why stage something like that?
It's the same problem with just like anytime somebody does something like that, it's so stupid. It's like, why lie like that?
I think people just want to be famous.
I think that's part of it. I also, man, I think
they just like.
I don't. Again, we're gonna go into something fucking serious now.
I know, and I was thinking that too. I was like, damn it, because it's gonna go right into racial shit.
Well, like I think it's a bigger. I think the bigger problem is like victimization. Is that the right word? That like I think people like to be victims for whatever reason. I don't really understand it. I haven't really thought about it that much, but like.
Well, I think part of it stems from they like the attention that they get for being a victim.
Yeah, I think it's like it gives them a certain amount of power to be able to say I'm right and you should listen to me. But like,
or better, I'm the victim, so I must be right.
Yeah,
listen to me.
It's like being the victim proves that you are innocent.
Yeah.
You know, and like that because victims are always in the right because they didn't do anything wrong. They're a victim. You know, they were a victim of somebody else doing something wrong. But, and so I think that, yeah, maybe that's kind of what it is that is alluring to people. That it's like, you know, people will look to me as like being the good guy of the story. But then it's like, all it does is it hurts whatever you are trying to be against.
Exactly. And that's what I hate, I think, the most about it is like whatever it was that you were originally setting out to do, like you just hurt any chance of that. And like I think even more now than maybe in the past, everything's at face value. So people will see that and they're going to discredit your entire purpose.
Yeah.
Everything you stood for, that is now the symbol of why it's wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, looking at, you know, I mean, specifically with him, it's like, now it's like, it's a way of people, of like racist people to then say like, look, black people are liars. They, you know, are bad people. Like they are looking to, you know, do bad things to white people or, you know, whatever. I don't know what, you know, I'm assuming white was what these other actors apparently were.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure on what they were, but I
you know, like, and so it gives the other side immediate ammunition. And the thing is that people get caught with this all the time. Like I don't think there's many people who actually get away with like claiming somebody did something and then then actually like everybody believes it and then they get in trouble and everything. Most of the time it comes out somehow because if they know that they're innocent, they're going to fucking fight tooth and nail to prove that they are innocent because I know I didn't do that.
The people that are guilty, though, fight tooth and nail to prove that they're innocent.
Yeah.
I think that's what's kind of fucked up about our whole like.
But I think they have a weaker leg to stand on. Like if I'm completely innocent, man, I will find the receipt to whatever like fast food I went to, and like I'm gonna lay out a timeline of like every single movement, and it's like it just doesn't make sense for me to do that. Yeah,
but that's kind of like our legal system, though. Is like you're innocent until proven guilty, and the whole part of like a defense is to like prove that whether they did it or not, that they didn't do it.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of bullshit. Like if you have somebody who's like, yeah, I did it. Why are we like cut the red tape, cut out the middleman? Like he did it. Like,
well, I think like what most defense lawyers would probably tell you is that they really aren't there to prove their innocence. They're there to make sure that the other side does their job. And like, I think, don't get me wrong, there are for sure defense lawyers who their entire goal is to make sure that you get off. I can totally believe that is a thing, especially the higher paid ones. They are probably more willing to potentially bend the rules or at least knowingly keep themselves ignorant, you know.
Michael Jackson and OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think probably most respectable defense lawyers would say, I am just here to make sure the police do their job correctly and make sure that make sure that everybody is doing their jobs correctly. And it's not really up to me to try to convince you that he's innocent, but it is up to me to make sure that you documented all of that shit properly, to make sure that you did your due diligence to prove that he actually did this crime, So I think not all. I feel like defense lawyers get a bad rap, because of television and movies. That it seems like they're all basically out there to, lie and whatever I have to do to be able to get you off. It doesn't really matter whether you did it or not. And really, I don't think that's the reality of it.
That's an interesting way to put it, though, and I kind of like that.
I just remember in high school, there was like a lawyer that came to our school that talked about kind of what he did and stuff. And I remember that was a big thing of his, was that like, I'm here to make sure that they do their job correctly, So yeah, I think that that's not explained in pretty much any media, really. I mean, you look at any kind of criminal or like crime dramas or anything like that. It's like all of that is like the defense lawyer is, a terrible person because they are trying to get the criminals off, Don't do that.
I'm sorry, but
don't do that.
You said it so many times that I'm like, he's got smooth hands. All right, everybody. That is the show. Again, if you like what you're hearing, go head on over to patreon.com/TheBeerDenPodcast. We have a mug club if you're interested for $10 a month. Get yourself a custom mug with our logo on it. PDF copy of all the beers of the month, including the beer of the month. And that comes with description of the beer and all that good information. Yeah, it's a good time. Head on over to patreon.com/TheBeerDenPodcast and find us on all social media. Links in the description.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to another Beer Den review.
Don't forget to follow us on social media, links down in the description.
Subscribe, like, and share, and if there are any beers you would like us to try out, leave them in the comments below.
We'll see you on the next episode of the Beer Den Podcast.